Hello, beautiful light-filled souls. Thanks to those of you who signed up for my spiritual community. I love meeting with people in groups, love those meditations. It is really such an honor to meet with you in that way. Also love the one-on-one readings. Thank you for trusting me on this path. And I love this format as well. YouTube is a fun format, so I appreciate your comments. I just want to say a big thanks to all of you. I think a lot about the near-death experience and its impact on my life, but I also think about what could make my students happier in this particular time in history, and what can make you happier, and what could make me happier. And today I'm thinking about the topic of attention. So when you think of a near-death experience, you can bet it had my attention. Dying kind of wakes you up in a sense, and there's nothing else I could focus on than that moment of being birthed into a new realm. And I wish all of life could be like that. I wish I could bring that attention and focus and awe and wonder to each moment of my life, because the more you go after the attention of others, or the more you give your attention away, the unhappier you'll be. And the less creative you'll be, the less fulfilled you'll be. Because if you're seeking the attention of others, you're not focused on your joy, what you're manifesting, what you want more of. Attention is never enough. You can look at stars with 16 million followers and they still are wounded by the slings and arrows of this existence. It doesn't make them happier. I understand that a lot of times creative people and people starting a business need followers in order to do what they love. So there is that. And I'm not faulting, online as a way of ruining creativity. It has to some degree, but it also has created collaborative creativity in some ways. How it's harmed people, I believe, is people are not focused on what they're manifesting. They're not focused on what they are giving their time to, that what they're giving of themselves to. So why did I write my book, and why did I burn it? I want to actually, if you follow me on Instagram, I want to explain that a little bit more. That first of all, writing required all of my focus. I understood toward the end of it that you have to have a social media presence to sell. I understood that you have to be out there in order for people to hear about you. You have to be on some talk shows and variety of mediums online. But that wasn't the fun part. The fun part was writing the book, and that required one thing at a time. That required a lot of sacrifice, a lot of time. Loved it, felt overwhelmed, felt discouraged along the way, got spiritual guidance, help. There was a lot of support from that other side that I didn't even really expect. So once you start a journey, it's just fascinating to follow it, to be in it. And that's the creative journey. All of life is a creative journey. So whatever it is that you want more of, you want a close relationship, you want a different job, you want a different way of being, all of this requires focus. And if you're just seeking attention, then you're not manifesting and creating at your highest level of what you want. And if you're just giving your attention away to other people who are doing what you want, or just random stuff, then you're also not creative. You're more unhappy. So how do we focus ourselves on what we want? I burned my book because I want to be here right now. I did that then. And it's not that I'm not going to go to book signings, and it's not that I don't appreciate people who love Angels in the OR. It's that I have to be right here, right now. I can't be in the past. I can't be in the what if, or what if this had happened differently, or, maybe all the maybes and what ifs. Who cares? I'm right here. And this is where I want to be, and this is where the only place where I can manifest, and right now is the only place where you can manifest. You have to give your attention wholly and profoundly to this moment in your life. And lots of people talk about being present and being in the moment, but I really want to remind you that neuroscientists, that many different people are cautioning us around becoming less creative and more unhappy by simply giving away what is our most important power, the focus of the moment. the attention that you can pay to your life and to the moment and to the lives that you're intersecting, because it may seem like a small, meaningless interaction with a telemarketer or tech person on the phone, but every moment of your life is a chance for you to elevate, for you to pay attention to what the lesson is, what you're trying to learn, what can be accomplished here, and how to have joy, how to find that joy and happiness and creativity, because that's when you're connected to purpose. You find creativity when you have a long-term goal. You find purpose when you have a reason for being. And this can be just spreading peace. It doesn't have to be nailed down to a thesis statement that's exactly perfect. It can simply be, everything that I do from this point forward is to create more peace and joy in my life, and to create more peace and joy in the lives of others, to really orient them in that direction. That's going to create what they want in life, not what they don't want, not randomness, not pain, but more of what they want. And that's what I want for my students. That's a message that I want to share with anyone out there who is simply working on anything. Pay attention to yourself, this moment, and what is happening right now, and think about the long-term purpose. And I'm just going to be real with you, and I'm going to share that there are some things that I've checked off my boxes. And, it's almost like living a life is almost like graduating towards death, for me, that maybe death is the graduation where we get to go home and we don't have to do this anymore. But one thing that I'm really excited about and happy about, that I checked off on one of my boxes, is that I've included the Rape Crisis Center in my will. When you think about my story, you probably think about the near-death experience, but I think about sometimes the trauma that I survived in this body. And I think about, how can I make this world a little bit safer and offer a little bit more healing to those who are traumatized. And, when I did that, I kind of concluded, not that I'll ever be done with the near-death experience or surviving trauma and healing from trauma, but I shut a door on, what you can do in a lifetime, how you can make a difference. And what do I want to create now? What do I want to do now? That's where I find joy, and that's where you find joy. That's where I delve into creativity, and that's where you delve into creativity. So sometimes I do like to get on YouTube and interview people who fascinate me and people who inspire me. And sometimes near-death experiencers still too. I might throw some of them in. I just went to the IANDS conference, and it was great to hear some new stories that I wasn't familiar with. But really, this channel is a beautiful opportunity to connect with you. I'm grateful for it. I'm grateful for the connection. I want it to be a place of healing for you. I want to create more meditations. I want it to be something that, when you think about legacy, when you think about a life, you want to leave behind what is beautiful, what is good, what is true. And it's very hard in this culture, because people attack you for so many different reasons, no matter who you are, whether you have all the attention you could possibly dream of as a movie star, not everyone's going to like you. They're going to say horrible things about you. So that doesn't equate happiness. When I think of people who think it does, I just want to orient them to, where is the joy? It's not there. It's not in that. And it's not in competition. It's not in comparison. It's not in any of these things. The joy is in creating what gives you joy and what could give others joy, but really just watching life unfold. And it's not always easy. There's sometimes we have this time frame or this ticking clock, but really the soul plays out this life in the time that it needs to. And your life is your life. So you just have to grab onto it, steer it in the direction that you want, and don't let all the flying distractions of media randomness that cross your path get in the way of where you're going, the light, the direction of where you're headed, because that's what matters. That's what being spiritual is it's seeing beyond this world and moving in a direction that is benefiting you, that is pushing society forward. And sometimes it doesn't seem like enough, but collaboratively and together, we can make a huge difference when our missions align and we're all walking towards greater peace, greater connection, greater oneness. Then you do start to see over time pushing that dial in a beautiful direction. But thank you so much for listening, and I hope this benefits you in some way. And thanks for paying attention to it. May you be blessed.